Well, good evening, all. I'm Epstein, and here we are on Tuesday, and we're at the 8th of April, 2025, 6:25 p.m. Central Time. So we're just hours away, less than 6 hours away from tariffs, and that's when the tariffs will go on, the reciprocal ones. We've already seen that China's going to get 104% tariff. So you buy the good, it's going to cost you more than the good. Again, not just a small amount, double the price of that. China's responding. Maybe they're selling some U.S. Treasuries. I'm trying to figure out why the bond market, the far, far back 30-year, keeps adding yield while the rest of the market is not keeping up with that. There's something going on there that I'm not understanding. I've read some reports that they think that in order for China to do anything, they're obviously willing to, if you will, pay more yield if you want to buy that so that you'll get out and they're dumping their instruments. Could it be? Anything's possible. They are the second largest holder. Now, after these tariffs, and this is the important thing, and I'll discuss this in the financial update as well, the tariffs go on, and now we're into the next phase. So you've had a couple of phases. You've had the threat of tariffs. You had the 10% tariff. You had the threat of tariffs. You had tariffs go on Mexico and Canada. You had retraction of some of those tariffs, as you know. Then we got to the 10% that everybody's going to get hit with. Then we came up with this reciprocal tariff idea. President did it. The president said that if you strike back at the U.S. because of that, he will hit you with much harder tariffs. China tested him on it, and he went up another 50% in the tariff. So now they have 104% tariff that is going to hit them. So he's made his point. He knows he can tip the world into a recession. I fully believe that. So now the next part of the game begins. I have been adamant in saying that these tariffs would go on, and I was right on that. The next part I said, and this is where I could be very wrong, is they won't stay on that long. In some manner, they will be reduced or eliminated as far as the reciprocal tariffs go, and it'll be country by country. I don't believe he's going to remove the 10% tariffs for anyone at the very beginning. He also has something else. While he has said that all these countries are getting, if you will, these tariffs on them in different ways, he has the power to just say for that company, no, they're exempt. This is exempt. He can go in afterwards. But to start, he goes in full bore. Now, you would think that would be more bullish for the gold than it is. Gold's still hanging at the 3,000 level. I've been telling you that for a while. A week ago tomorrow, I was on Aussie Business TV, and I made available to everybody that's on my mailing lists and so on that interview where I was saying, hey, in the 31.90 level, that's where the market was, just come out. You've already accomplished this tariff thing. You could get a break. All right, you're there. Now I'm looking at the dollar and other currencies. And what I think is you're flipping a coin now. Let the reaction hit of the tariffs, the emotional reaction. Price-wise, some is in the market. There could be more. You haven't gone down and taken out the lows of Monday. You've come up, but you haven't taken out those lows yet. And yes, today was a dead cat bounce. So let's go back to metals, and I'll cover more of that in the financial update. That was your piece, as I call it. You can see how the market has backed off. You're down for the week so far, at this point at least, 1.45%, $43. You can see how the market peaked out a week ago and came down as you're getting this break right now, and you stepped out of the uptrend. The market is under the 18-week average of closes, and the reason I said when I had that interview was the Bollinger Band. I looked at it and I said, okay, I teach. How could I not practice what I teach? The odds of staying over that band are 5% of the time. If traders were in the market and caught that, why not take something or all of it off the market? Whatever you want to do. You know, my job here is not to tell you buy here, sell there. My job is to say what I think the pros are doing. And in my subscription videos, that is where you pay me. Very little, by the way underpaid to say buy here, sell there, or do nothing. Guess what I've had you do for almost 2 weeks? Nothing. And you'll say, look at everything I left on the table. And I'll say, look at all the money that's left in your account. Because you're not good enough, nor am I, to catch that. I mean, you might be, I am not. And I'm sure there are people out there that are winning it. But to catch this, you have to be throwing a dart at a chart and saying, that's the top. That's very different than saying, come out against the Bollinger Band. Now, as I look at the market, you're oversold. I'm not bearish gold. The trend can easily be down into the lower Bollinger Band. That'd be fine. It either embeds, and embedding requires the blue and the red lines get under 20, go sideways together, and stay that way. They didn't even make it there. They haven't made it at all. I have no reason to believe that gold's going to do that. I think gold will be the beneficiary of inflation that all this causes. So this pullback is the washout for people, and I think the market will lift back. Do I see a chart signal to do that? I don't yet. I'll be patient. In the gold-silver ratio, you can see that the market just stays up here. So silver is still, as long as prices are over this red 18-day average of closes, silver is still a loser to gold. And if you look at the silver, look at the difference. It's running the lower Bollinger Band, but it too is not embedding. So we've had a downtrend. We have a market that, unlike the gold, actually had a trend down. It stalled for a short while at the 100-day average, the 200-day average, and the Bollinger Bands, and then it accelerated afterwards as we got word that the tariffs were going through and America had to come to terms that some of us were right in saying this president's going to follow through on the things that he says, but I'm making a prediction. I pray I'm right, and I think I will be. We will not go into to the point where he forces the economy over the cliff. He's going to scare the economy. He's going to slow the economy down. He's going to give those people calling for a recession, maybe the recession. But I think he will pull you out of that by lifting the market. So while we might see economic numbers come down, the emotional numbers that as these tariffs start getting done with different countries, the markets start coming back. And in the process, if he's successful, and that's what he's betting his legacy on, he'll have gotten tariffs reduced. He'll get more businesses to work in America. He is not going to get every country to have a positive trade balance with America. That is impossible. It can't be done, all right? But he can get closer than the crazy deficits we have, especially with our large trade partners. That is probably a realistic goal, and the one that he wants to leave, I think, is a legacy. It would be a disaster for him to put the country into a serious recession. That would then be his legacy. I don't think he wants to go out that way. In the copper, we continue with the sell-off in the market. Now remember, copper's the canary in the mine. So in copper, you get an idea of what world industry is always doing. And this is telling you this is that fear factor, and it is in the market. Here you're trying to embed. Today's the first day where you're trying to get your numbers in there. Pay attention to that. Platinum market, oversold, but getting close to putting, like copper, both numbers. In fact, they are for the moment under the 20 level. A couple of days of that, you can go further. So there's no saying you can't get a plunge here. What I am saying is, as Scott Bessent said, he's not using the word we will get deals done in months. He is saying we will get deals done in days or weeks. I listened to the words carefully. Had he said a couple of months or more than that, the market would probably be tanked even worse. But he's opened the door for that. The president keeps saying, we've got people on airplanes coming in to making deals right now. We'll see. That door is going to open. And the first good deal he makes opens the door for all the other deals and leaves China out in the cold, and they'll be the last that he deals with. We'll see where that goes. Remember, there's still talk, by the way, while we're talking metals here, that I don't know how to use the word. The Trump organization says that Iran is sending its dignitaries to meet with the U.S.'s, and they're going to have face-to-face talks. That is not what Iran is saying. Iran is saying they will be in the same building, they will be in the same offices, but separate offices. So I guess they're going to have a courier. Oh, I got a message for you. Oh, I got another one for you. And that's how they're going to meet. I don't know what's right, but I would bet it's more along the Iranian way. Just they'll save face doing that, but we'll see if deals can be made and they can strike something. It's a positive. It's not a negative. The fact that they're in the same building, not the UN, the fact that they'll have couriers rushing between, things can get done. I didn't say they would, but this is a first good step. When you take a look, though, you're breaking the markets down. Why be a hero and guess how everything's going to react tomorrow? All right? It's now it's here. The fact is here. Before it was buy the rumor, sell the fact. Now you're different. That plays over. Now you're dealing with the facts. That's what comes in afterwards. And it's generally not bullish on situations like that. In the dollar, there's been no safe haven bid. Could it happen tomorrow? It could. Got to be careful here. The dollar is in a bearish posture. I would think the pros are selling short at 103.37, stops over the high here, which also has the 200-day average. If you clear that, then the bear play is over in the dollar for the short term. So you put that together, that's where your game is. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the news for tomorrow. You're going to have the U.S. reciprocal tariffs at 12:01. You're going to get the Mortgage Bankers Association numbers. They'll come out at 6 in the morning. We're going to see the wholesale inventory and sales data coming out for February, and that's at 9 in the morning. The EIA weekly petroleum stock estimate will be at 9. The Richmond Federal Reserve Bank, President Barkin's going to speak at a Washington event at 10, and we're going to have at 1 in the afternoon minutes from the FOMC. For those of you that watch earnings, Delta's going to report their earnings. I'm watching interviews with Carnival. I've been watching Viking with their interviews, and Viking can survive this for their, especially the river travel business. They deal with a different type of client. But I think the others, there could be problems. There could be problems in all kinds of travel. Is right now, all my friends are saying is, when does this break in? This is getting very painful. I get it. But again, there's a difference between investing, trading. There's also, are you in it for what time frame? If you're retired and the money means, you should be pretty heavily involved in fixed instrument, and a certain amount of your portfolio is going to hurt. But again, if Trump pulls this off, where's American stock market going to go? I'll be writing about this and a lot more, as Linn will tomorrow, and all our free offers. So if you don't get my market letter and you don't get theirs and some of the charts they get, we'd like to show it to you. Now, I get certain people that will write over and over, no, we want to get that from you again. That's not how it works. We're showing you this so you do something with us and we can do something with you. That is the name of this. If you like seasonal charts, and they're important right now, More and Season X, we offer both of those. Guide to Technical Indicators, my different courses, free ones, pivot points, that. And you just put in your name, all the information, and we get it emailed to you typically within a business day or so. So go to iraepstein.com, free offers, take advantage. The word is free offers. I'm Ira. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Take care.